everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the 90th Minute. We've got Liam, Greg, Lucas. We're still in the self-isolation mode, just as is the whole of world football, except for Belarus. So, gentlemen, how are we doing?
I'm good. How are you tonight, Woz?
I'm good. I have a fine vine. It's Louis Van
Oh,
Gaal.
lovely.
I've been watching lots
Welcome back to the 90th
Yes.
Minute. Like Woz said, make sure you are subscribed on our YouTube, following on any and all social medias, especially our TikTok, where we're nearly at 21,000 followers.
on the brink.
Thank you very
We
much
should
for
have
all
that.
Greatly appreciate.
We should have that by the
Yes,
time this is
totally.
uploaded.
Hopefully.
It was. You never know.
Yeah. So I've been watching a lot of football this week.
Have you?
Yes, I've been watching replays of the World Cup.
There we go.
Specifically, Brazil versus France, 2006.
Good
Really?
game.
Great
Great
quarterfinal
game.
match. I go on YouTube and I just watch it when I'm eating.
As a Dan masterclass.
He was amazing that game. I was like, he's a
fantastic.
maestro.
Yep.
You look back and it was like, no wonder he was one of the best players of all time.
Yeah.
But
Was he the man of the match?
I haven't finished it. No spoilers.
I think he was. I'm not 100%, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was.
Okay, well,
but
I
we're-
mean, if you're talking about that, let's talk about a match from a modern day World Cup that you have big memories of.
Oh.
Which one?
I mean, anyone. Modern day
Oh,
World Cup that you've
I thought you were
was
setting it
like-
up for something.
Oh,
I was
that's very.
confused there.
There's two that come to mind really. The World Cup final 2010, and Brazil 7-1. Then yeah.
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 So
Um.
The 7-1
Yeah, I mean-
eyes.
I mean,
7-1
I think
definitely
that's the,
stands out.
I think that's the easy one to go to. But is there any other ones? I mean, everyone's gonna go to that match.
Yeah, well,
For me, a game that really stands out for me because I remember watching it live and losing my mind was the Netherlands versus Australia, when Robin scored a great goal, then Tim Cahill scored a great goal, and then Van Persie scored a good goal. I was
Oh.
like, oh my god, what is
I-
happening?
I still think one of the best games we've seen recently, though, is Spain-Portugal. Just in the
Yeah,
last.
that was
World
a
Cup.
great
That
one,
was-
yeah.
Oh yeah, that
that
was
game
being.
was crazy.
For me, I mean, I'm gonna go Belgium versus the United States in 2014 because Tim Howard had the masterclass.
Belgium versus Japan.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that one. That one
That
was,
one was good too.
that was one of my favorite matches at the last World Cup, along with the Spain Portugal
Yeah.
one. I think it's just incredible. An underdog taking a huge lead in that match, and
Yeah.
then just the favorite finding a way to come back, and
Yeah.
heartbreaking end for Japan, but incredible
It
journey
was an
for
incredible
Belgium.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, we realize that football is put on hiatus, so this is a bit of a different podcast episode.
I mean,
and
has-
we're gonna try and talk about what we can talk about. But
Ha-
it's great to look back on games like this and memories like this because for us, and for a lot of the world, that's how you are introduced to the world of football is through World Cups and through big tournaments. and
Well, I mean, for me,
create memories
basically,
that way.
we have lived through all. I mean, all of us. I think we've all lived through how many World Cups now? Like 6.
98 would have been our first.
I
one.
don't. I have no recollection of 98. I
No,
was
but
I
too
we
don't
young.
have
were
a
alive for
recollection
that
of
time.
2002.
Neither do I.
Anything
No,
from
me either.
06 I have recollection of.
Yeah.
I
2006. Yeah.
actually, for me, I never did watch 2006. I was not in tune with the world of football at the time either.
I'm pretty sure I remember you having the 2006 World Cup video game. Or at
I
least you
no,
renting it.
I did not play that. I did, and I probably never touched it because it was so crap. But
I honestly did not even know there was a 2006 World Cup. game.
There was
I
World Cup games until 2014.
Yeah.
the first time I had any memories of the World Cup that was probably 2010.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
South Africa was a great World Cup.
I mean, 2006 was like pretty much one of the first few years of me getting into football, along with 2004
Nope.
and 05.
Not for
Obviously,
me.
but
I was watching another sport in 2006. It was called hockey.
I mean, hockey wasn't happening during the World Cup.
It was kind of close for me. The time frame was close. The Oilers made the cup final, so it was kind of
Yeah.
But I want to toss in another game in the semifinal of the 2006 World Cup where Germany and Italy. I think I mentioned it on a
Yeah.
podcast a few weeks ago, but and I could talk about that semifinal for age. It's just that ending was just
That was a
so
fantastic
dramatic.
game.
I will go back and
Yeah.
rewatch it.
It was a great game, 100%.
Have any of you actually
Italy were so good.
Have any of you actually watched the Belarusian league?
no.
No.
No, no one.
Where would we watch that?
There's probably links on Reddit.
Maybe, I guess.
I mean,
I can't handle watching streams anymore.
you guys
Well,
talk about
okay.
me. you guys talk about me being a football hipster, but I'm not that desperate to watch
No,
football
you're not.
in
Let's talk
Belarus.
about.
The league
So
gods.
The Belarusian league is
Yeah.
still continuing, but let's talk about Belgium, because now the Belgian league seems to be finished.
Well, not officially, but
Not
It's
officially,
close
but
to.
very
No.
close to be.
But actually,
Yeah.
Fabian and I, who will be on the podcast later, him and I had a nice little discussion. He mentioned that Belgium was handed a bunch of punishments if they would not stop playing from UEFA.
yeah, I have heard that. Whether those are threats or whether they're bluffing remains to be seen.
Yeah.
But currently we do know that Belgium, they would hand Bruges, Club Bruges the title, and specific other teams Champions League spots, because usually in Belgium they have a playoff after 30 matches to determine like winner, playoff spots, and relegation. But in this case, they've stopped the season pretty much where they are now, and I don't know. I don't remember if they would relegate the last place team or not relegate anyone. Completely forgot.
Why are they out of everyone? You know, why are they the only ones that are looking to end their league? Is there a special reason?
Well, to be fair, like before, like I mentioned, they have the playoffs after 30 matches, but like 30 matches, you have the complete table of a regular season technically. So they are pretty
Yeah.
much close enough to that. So I can see what they're trying to do.
That's fair. I mean, it's funny that Samuel Mignolet left Liverpool and now he's going to win a domestic title, but you know,
Yeah,
no,
and
I mean, it's a huge step, and I mean, if Belgium's the first of many countries to follow this,
Yeah, how many
see what
how many
happens, 'cause-
countries are gonna follow through with this and do the same
yeah,
thing? You never
I
know.
think if one country starts it, there'll be multiple others that kind of continue in the same kind of path, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And if it actually gets like accepted and
all,
Mhm.
gets done right.
it also depends on like what punishments UEFA would actually do, or if they would actually punish at all.
Yeah.
I know there are clubs in the Netherlands, AZ, Ajax, and PSV. I believe they want to end their season, but like UEFA like has threatened them, saying if you end the season, something's gonna happen. I don't know what, but
Maybe
they're not happy
sanctions or
with them.
I mean,
something.
if all the
I-
leagues do it, like you can't punish everyone, right?
Yeah, and
I
oh
mean,
yeah, the thing that
I
UEFA
get
said.
I get UEFA because I mean, like they want the conclusion of the leagues, but I mean, you have to think about the logistics of it. Of how long are we gonna have to wait here? Is it gonna be another 2 months? Is it gonna be 6 months? Is it gonna be another year? Like,
Yeah.
how long do we wait until we say, okay, guys, let's just call it the way it is?
Like
think
we've said before, the last time this happened, right, was back in the wars, and it's like so it's been
Yeah.
so long, like just no one
Yeah.
knows
Well,
what's really
football was
going
still
on.
so young at the time, and the leagues were
Yeah.
still getting started, and there was barely a UEFA competition. UEFA hadn't really no.
It wasn't the same back then.
UEFA had no jurisdiction at the time, right?
The amount of money that this does now,
Yeah,
like
the
UEFA
money's the
makes from
biggest
this.
thing. Yeah.
UEFA, I think, did say today, the president, Sefrin or whatever his
Yeah.
name is. I think he said that they would have to end the Champions League on August 3rd if to conclude it.
Yeah.
So
That is not that far away.
I don't know.
like, that's
It's
a handful of months.
like the way I see it. I don't think Spain or Italy will happen because they've
Yeah.
had so much damage. England
France
is
not
looking
great.
bad. France is looking bad. But one president did have a meeting with 13 sports commissioners in the United States. This is kind of maybe an ideal time frame we could see. But Donald Trump, the first time we're bringing him up on the podcast, he did have a meeting with 13 sports commissioners in the U.S. And apparently he said they're looking at fans will be able to attend sporting events maybe around August, September. That's their timeline right now. So maybe if
I mean, America depends on how bad they get because they're not
Yeah,
in a good place either
so-
right now.
America's like the worst.
I think they're number one right now with cases and
Yeah.
whatnot. So, yeah, that's. I mean, if that's any indication,
The world
but
is messed up.
Yeah.
Also, another thing, I guess, in relation to what we mentioned, Juventus said they wouldn't accept a title if like a title handed to them if the virus stops the
I
season.
feel that's a very
Well,
classy
that's
touch
good.
from them.
That's
Yeah.
very good for Juventus because
Yeah.
for the first time in a long time, It's actually not guaranteed that Juventus wins Serie A.
Yeah.
So
B also, I
good
mean,
for
It's
Juventus.
so close. Yeah.
I feel like Lucas, if you're a Liverpool supporter, this is not the way you would want to win the title either. It's like
After
Of
30
course.
years of waiting, it's hey, listen, we're just gonna give it to you because technically you're in the lead, but you
The
didn't
thing is,
technically win it. But you know,
what are they in though? Like a 20
oh, I know,
something point
I agree.
lead. I know it's like
Liverpool,
you don't want it like that. Just giving it to you. Like you want to
yeah,
see it and everything, but
especially because now they're
yeah.
gonna have to lift this.
still like
Like, even
they
even
yeah.
if the season finishes, like chances are it's gonna be an empty stadium. How much does
I'm
that suck?
I'm not really trying to think about that type of stuff right now. Like my best, I know a lot of stuff's going on about Liverpool and other clubs being quite greedy in a sense, and I don't really want to get into that right now. It's kind of annoying though, and I'm just trying my best not to think about that stuff because in the end, it's just gonna annoy me, and I don't really need any extra stuff to annoy me.
Lucas does
Unfortunately, we're
not
still
need
on.
any aggravation.
Well, since we're on the topic of money, I guess let's transition to Germany, where there are
Oh
some
wait,
issues.
sorry. Um, I just want to talk about one more thing related to this subject, but because Celtic, there's stuff going on too.
What have we done now, Lucas?
Well, apparently you guys may be recognized as champs.
I mean, we're so far. We're the same as
I heard
Liverpool.
about
We're so
that.
far ahead. Rangers are not going to catch us.
How many games
I
left?
don't.
How many games left?
Oh,
Or
I'm not
no?
too sure how many games are left, but I mean, the way I look at it is, I'm like Lucas in the sense that I don't want the title handed to me because I'm technically ahead,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I don't want to be, selfish in the sense of we have to finish the league when there's bigger things at play. You have to get your country back on it. Be able
World
to
health
stand. Yeah,
at
exactly.
is like more at stake if you try and
I
do stuff
I
like
I do think all the domestic leagues can be finished come the summer. It's just what does the world look like in a month, in 2 months, in 3 months, and you have to play it by ear. You
Mhm.
can't make a decision
we're still
now.
day by day right now, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Everything is day by day.
But with Scotland, since we haven't really talked about Scotland too much, apparently Aberdeen would be awarded the country's spare Europa League place. There'd be no expansion of the league, so that means the last place team might get relegated, I guess, and the winter break for next season would be gone.
That's the good thing about Scotland is there's a 2 or 3 week winter break, usually in January. So I mean, that could just be taken out, and that can make up a few games. But I mean, no expansion would that not just mean that the teams in the second division don't come up?
No, that means apparently that would mean like last place team would get relegated, first place team below would go up or something. I
Champion.
don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
what this was from a handful a few days ago, so I don't know if there's a new update or if there's going to be an
I'm not too
update this
sure.
week.
I haven't seen much. I gotta be honest.
But yeah, I guess since we were on the topic of money, we should transition to the Bundesliga, where clubs are financially not doing well.
No.
There are
it's-
clubs in the second division who are on the brink of bankruptcy. At least I think 7 clubs, 7 to 9. Once again, some point in this podcast, in the video, Lucas will bring in the little interview I had with our friend Fabian, who's a friend of the podcast.
Yeah, once we're done talking
Yeah.
about the German stuff, we'll transition to the interview with Woz and
Just-
Fabian.
Yes.
I missed out
Just a
on
bit
it.
of a background. Fabian is a friend of Woz's, and he's a friend of the 90th Minutes. He lives in Germany. He's a big
Yeah.
Bundesliga fan. He's a Bayern Munich correspondent. So
Actually,
following us
he
since the
mentioned
and he critiques my music ability. So
Yes, he does.
he actually told me
It's
he's not
rough.
he does kind of like support Bayern, but he's more so just a fan of German football more than anything.
Which is good.
enough.
Like it's,
Yeah.
it's nice
Fair
to
enough.
see.
But yeah,
Okay.
it is very concerning that 13 out of the 36 professional clubs in Germany are under threat of bankruptcy, and it is if the leagues do get canceled, I'm pretty sure a lot of the reason for that would be the lack of television money and
Yeah.
the lack of fans
Yeah.
entering the stadiums.
Well, I think a
Mhm.
lot of us saw this coming, honestly, with these
Yeah,
lower
100%.
teams. Like,
I mean, you
Gonna
look at
get-
like you look at the championship, and I mean, they're like equivalent of the Bundesliga second division. But I mean, we are in Canada and we're able to watch championship football. When have we ever been able to watch second division Bundesliga? Right?
Yeah.
It's
Technically, you can
the
watch
team-
third division. or is it fourth division? I don't know.
I don't know.
But no, this isn't just the lower leagues though. Bundesliga clubs are getting threatened too. I think
Yeah,
there's 3.
the lower teams. Like
It-
everyone is
you-
just
it's
struggling.
tough.
It's just a rough time. The money right now it's in a terrible
And
position.
The question then comes:
God.
does the Bundesliga have to bail them out? Does UEFA have to bail them out? Does FIFA have to bail them out? It's how.
Do the bigger German clubs help out?
I
Like,
mean,
how
Bayern
does
did
it
that
work,
once,
right?
and like with Dortmund years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the German clubs would like to help each other out, but sometimes it's not possible. Like if
Mhm.
you can't
if
just
like
give away all your money.
yeah, if you're losing money as well, you can't
Yeah.
help too many people because then you're gonna have no money either,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't want to go bankrupt yourself.
Yeah.
All the
But
bigger teams can just do a small amount and pitch in. It would be nice, and it's good to see that. It's not just selfish football, that teams that are like there for the glory and everything, and they actually want the sport and their league to continue and grow, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
And help each
100%.
other out.
and some people are questioning will the 50+1 rule get affected by this, but I don't know enough about that to really give a good answer about it.
Was you and Fabian talked about that one, right?
Yes, we went about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that'll be
Okay.
discussed.
And we'll quickly give our opinions on some actual football news that happened. Hansi Flick, I'm sure Woz and Fabian talked about this, but
Yeah.
we'll give our thoughts too. Liam,
move.
first, what do you think? What do you think
Good
about
move.
this?
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of it. I mean, since he's come in at Bayern Munich, he's, I think, done more than okay. I mean, Bayern seem to be in a good place, both Champions League and Bundesliga. And it's good that they don't need. The thing I like about Bayern Munich is they don't always go after a big name manager. I mean, they have.
Mhm.
Recently, they have. I mean, Pep Guardiola and whatnot. But they are a team that seems to be able to find quality from within. I always like that about them. I like that about German football in complete. But I mean, I like that he's more of a homegrown talent, and I like that he's come through the Bayern Munich system. So I like him. I think it's a good move for them.
Great.
I think it's of course I agree. I think it's really good. We've seen how good Bayern became when he joined, right? Because before they were really struggling, honestly. Like it wasn't the Bayern Munich that you usually see that dominates Germany, right? And they changed them, right? They just started scoring so many goals. They played calm. Everything was good.
They played Alfonso.
Yeah, we also talked a little bit about
That's true.
Alfonso.
I do wonder if he's going to be just a short-term thing or if they're planning on getting a big
Keep
guy
him
in the
around,
future.
yeah.
But maybe he's going to be, maybe it's just his first time, like long overdue for getting a chance as a first-team manager, and maybe he's going to become one of the best managers in the world.
Yeah,
I mean, with a contract till 2023, it definitely does give Bayern Munich the ability to cancel it earlier and not pay a huge penalty. I mean, they were really, really trusting they could do a 2025 or something like that. But I think if everything goes to plan, at least Flick can be at Bayern Munich for the next conceivable future, kind of thing.
Well, hopefully it goes well for him. But obviously, we would like to see the Bundesliga to be competitive, like it has been this season.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, Waz, did you give your thoughts about him in the interview?
About Hansi Flick?
Yeah.
I don't think I did. I think it's a good signing. I mean, I thought he was performing pretty well for Bayern. Hopefully it's not like an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer thing where he signs the contract and things just go downhill. So
yeah, you never want to see that.
I think he's been in charge for long enough to. Well,
yeah, that's
then
the big
again,
thing.
it kind of
already
been
good
almost
chunk.
as long as Ole.
yeah, no, it has been.
Fortunately, it's just wait and see how it does, right?
Should we insert Fabian now?
Yeah, let's transition to the interview between Woz and Fabian. Thank you, Fabian, for coming on to our podcast, and hopefully we can get some more guests in the future as well to give some different perspective on the game.
Boom!
Fabian in 3, 2, 1, bang!
Hey everyone, welcome to a very different version of the 9th Minute. This is kind of a new segment we have where we bring on a guest, and I've decided to bring on our, I guess, longtime viewer named Fabian. How are you, Fabian?
I am fine. Just a bit nervous because I'm not used to be on camera, and I'm also not used to speak English because it's my third language actually. But
Oh,
I'm
jeez.
the very best.
What's your second language?
My second language is German.
What's your first language?
My first language is Bavarian.
Okay, something different. Okay, no worries. Well, thank you for coming on, Fabian. We really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, our first guest. Fabian's he knows a lot about German football, so we're gonna get some, hopefully some decent answers out of him. I don't know, we'll see.
Well, I'm not considering myself a super. let's consider myself a fan.
Yeah, I guess a supporter. I think that's better to put it.
The good thing is, I'm not only interested in one club,
Oh, okay.
Bundesliga.
So I guess the first question is, can you talk about the 50+1 rule? Because I think a lot of people are kind of still like confused about it.
Yeah. So the 50+1 rule is something specific to the German league. It's because the Germans love tradition and love the club staying the club.
Mm-hmm.
We don't like teams like Manchester City or PSG, and that's why we have the 50+1 rule. It means that the club has to keep 50% plus one seat in the board, so they have always more than 50% of the voting rights of the team. So yeah, basically, if a company comes and wants to invest in the club, they cannot have more than 50% voting rights.
I was gonna ask you, do you think more leagues should try to adopt this rule?
Yes and no. 5 years ago, I would have said yes, but right now, it's not sure because actually, right now during the Corona crisis, the 50+1 rule is questioned because a lot of clubs are close to bankruptcy.
Yeah.
I read today in the news that 13 clubs in the first and second Bundesliga are really close to bankruptcy and need to go to short-time work soon because they don't have money. And if you cancel the one rule, that means that companies can come and invest and help them.
Yeah.
The problem is companies aren't really that good right now either.
Yeah, Lucas actually, he sent me an article just earlier about what's happening with some of the German clubs. What are your kind of just overall thoughts on that?
Well, it's bad because they don't have TV rights and they don't get the viewers in the stadiums, but it's in all leagues. I mean, you maybe heard that Belgium already canceled the league.
Yes.
And I think the UEFA is even threatening them and threatening to pull off their Champions League and Europa League points.
Is it Belgium or Belarus? Belgium or
Belarus is still playing. They don't have any restrictions.
Oh wow!
Because their dictator is saying, "Hey, we don't have a virus."
Yeah, they don't necessarily believe the coronavirus is an issue.
Full stadiums. The thing is, the Bundesliga wants to continue playing in May, and how they want to do that is they want to invest in speed tests for virus, so they can speed test all the players. And if they know that 18 or more players are healthy, then they can play in empty stadiums.
Well, is it true that even
the Spiel, which is literally ghost game?
Oh, okay. Is it true that even some top like German clubs are affected by this, like Dortmund and Bayern Munich?
Dortmund and Bayern Munich are surely not affected, but the rest is not good.
Yeah.
Bayern is really good with money and they saved a lot and they don't have problems. I think that.
There's at least 7 second division clubs who have to file for bankruptcy by the end of May if play is not started.
Yeah, 9.
Oh my goodness, that's sad.
They really put their money in the speed tests.
Yeah.
All their players and then let them play.
Well, I know even the Premier League thinks they can like come back in probably August, but that's still yeah.
Yeah, they definitely have to start earlier. Well, they have problems.
And in England especially, they have so many small clubs, like non-league sides, that might fall apart. I guess the next question is, what are your thoughts on the current German squad?
The current German squad, oh my god. That's coming as a surprise. The German squad, I think it's getting better again than,
Mm-hmm.
as in 2018 when they lost the World Cup, or they
Yeah.
embarrassed themselves. A lot of new young players, but I think I don't know if it still works with Löw, because the style he plays is already pretty known, and it stays pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
I think we probably need someone else, but the players are always fine. We never have player problems in Germany. We always have a team. We don't need individuals, but the team is always pretty good. It was always also pretty good in 2018, but the style was bad.
You think the style was kind of just like, I guess, outdated or just didn't transition well?
I'm actually not really sure.
Yeah.
I think they lacked motivation too. So Jogi Löw is kind of lost motivation skills. I don't know.
That's true. He also did lose a big chunk of his team from 2014. I mean, a lot of the players from that winning side did retire, so it was kind of a younger side. I guess on top of that question, what do you think of the current state of the Bundesliga? Because it is very exciting at the moment with how the title races.
This season is awesome. I'm so disappointed that it's cancelled right now, because this is my favorite season since 10 years or something. Because it's so exciting if you look at the top. Right now, Bayern is gaining points again and ahead a bit, with I think 5 points. But yeah, I love this season. You cannot say who will.
No, yeah.
You especially cannot say who will be second or third or fourth, because this is amazing. Yeah. So what you cannot say right now is how the teams will get out of the crisis now if it all starts again, like playing the ghost games in the empty stadiums. How the teams deal with that. That's, I think, a difficult question to answer because of the long break and how they trained their team. I mean, maybe if you follow the YouTube channel of FC Bayern, they do a video training and they show videos on there how they do home training there with the coach. So I think they're physically pretty good, but they don't have any training with the ball. So that's a problem. And it's going to be interesting how they can come back without any training on the pitch.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how some players will react and adapt to the changes, especially like lack of fitness. I don't know if that'll be an issue, but they're professional footballers overall. I guess going back to the German team again, another question. So your kind of thoughts and memories from the 2014 German side.
Oh, that amazing memories. Especially the semi-final. That is the best game I ever watched in my life, and it's one of the best memories ever in my life, I must say. I watched it with like 200 people at university with in a room at a big screen, and this was amazing. We were so excited before it. We thought it would be really tough game, and then the first goal, second goal, third goal, fourth goal, it's just ecstatic, and we didn't know what happened, and
no,
it was an amazing feeling, and I still remember that like it was today. Yeah.
Well, I
years ago, amazing.
Yeah, I remember when I was just sitting in my room and watching the game, just Germany absolutely steamrolling Brazil 7-1. I mean, it's probably one of the most iconic footballing moments of this century, I would say.
Actually, in German television, they show it on New Year's Eve every year.
Really? Yeah. I did not know that. Okay.
With the original commentary.
Jeez. Did you have a favorite player of that tournament?
Favorite player in that tournament? Of course, Manuel Neuer. He's my absolute favorite in 2014, especially because of the game against Algeria. That's a game that not everyone remembers because it was a small team.
I know that, yeah.
It was barely won, but Manuel Neuer played
I know.
It was.
I know Algeria gave. Algeria gave Germany some struggles that game. It would have been a shock if Algeria could upset Germany, but.
Yeah, they really struggled, and without Neuer, we maybe wouldn't have won.
Jeez.
We did slide tackles, and it was insane.
Oh.
This game was when the goalkeeping changed this game.
I guess going back to 2014 as well. I mean, there was the one magical moment from Mario Götze. What are you just kind of also thoughts on his kind of current state of his career?
Oh, he's definitely over his peak right now. I think 2014, the goal in the World Cup final, that was his big moment, and since then he did some wrong decisions. He went to Bayern, and that didn't really fit to him, and he's just a player that really fit to Klopp.
I guess, yeah.
I don't think that he has a future, and maybe he will probably change to a small club now.
Yeah, how much hype was around him during the time when he was at Dortmund? Because he was like one of the biggest German wonder kids that I can remember.
Yeah, everyone thought he could be the next Messi or something, and he was compared to him, but yeah, that didn't work out well. I don't know what exactly happened. I think it's a psychological thing. He's a very sensitive player. He needs a certain environment to work, and if there's too much pressure on him, then he cannot work, and that didn't work out for him. I think it was a mentality thing.
I know he ran into some medical issues as well with his with his stomach, I think, which kind of put a halt on his career as well.
Yeah, true. I remember that. Yeah, that wasn't really good.
But
the thing that is good in the crisis is how Marco Reus and Leroy Sané they say that the crisis is helping them because they're currently getting better from her injury.
Okay, I didn't hear about that. That is actually quite a shining light, I guess, from this.
There was an interview with Marco Reus, and he said the crisis is helping him because he's right now recovering from his injury, and then he can start again from new.
I guess another question I have, since we have a lot I'm from Canada. What are your thoughts on Alphonso Davies?
He's insanely hyped right now. He's the number of goals, and yeah, he's really the next good player at Bayern, and I hope he stays long and they don't sell him. And yeah, you cannot say because he's pretty young still, but I have high hopes. I love him.
I think his impact has kind of been surprising everyone, even here at home.
I love his TikToks.
If you guys haven't checked out Alphonso Davies' TikToks, they're class and hilarious. Also, if anyone's wondering why Lucas and them are not here right now, it's basically just because, well, Lucas is currently 2:00 in the afternoon for me. It's what, 9:30 for you, Fabian?
Yeah, it's 10:15.
Yeah, see, so we're recording this kind of earlier. Usually when we record our podcast, we do record at like 9:30 at night at our time. So that'll be like what, almost
okay.
Yeah. So as far as I know, Lucas is currently eating some sort of dinner, and I don't know what the other two are, but I'm very happy that we were able to bring on Fabian to the podcast. So thank you, Fabian, for taking time out of your day. This was awesome.
No problem.
It was the first time.
You have some more minutes.
I don't really have any questions at the moment, but is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
I have some interesting news.
Oh, perfect.
Fun fact right now. You remember the Bayern match against Hoffenheim where they canceled the match and refused to play because of the banner?
Yes.
So Dietmar Hopp is the founder of Hoffenheim, and German fans hate him. And right now, this completely changed. And the reasons for that is really surprising and insane. He's not only the founder and the company owner of Hoffenheim, he's also the company owner of a company called CureVac. For 2 months ago, no one knew this company, but this is exactly the company that is the leading company in Germany that is developing a vaccine against the corona. And they already have a vaccine against it and are already testing it on humans. And this is quite insane because now Dietmar Hopp is like the savior of us all. And he's like in the news every day and telling the new developments of the vaccine.
Wow.
Now everyone loves him. He's basically from a hate figure to a savior figure. And he's
kind of like an anti-hero in a sense, I guess. I don't know if
yeah.
I guess on top of that, I guess I wanted to bring this up earlier, but I totally forgot. Thoughts on RB Leipzig currently with their rise kind of to prominence?
That's a difficult topic because Bundesliga fans in the podcast will probably either hate me or love me. I actually love them right now because of the style they play. They play attacking and they have amazing team, and also the coach they have. And I really love him. The problem is, the 50+1 rule. It still applies, but you can kind of go around it because, I mean, you can just invite a company member to your board and give him voting rights, and you went around the 50+1 rule, so it's not really totally effective, and that's what people criticize with RB Leipzig, but I don't see much of a problem in it. I mean, we need to keep up with the British teams, French teams, and we cannot stay behind. And if they have big teams and with big money, then we cannot pay for players anymore, and we need to keep up with that. And so I really love that there's a team coming up with money, and it's a good thing, I think.
But yeah,
definitely if they're playing nice.
It adds competition to the league, and I mean, I think it's kind of good, but also kind of a negative, as you said, with the 50+1 rule. It's nice to see a bit more competition in the Bundesliga. I guess. What were thoughts on Timo Werner then? Do you see him leaving soon, maybe for Liverpool? There have been rumors about that.
Yeah, probably. Also, I heard that Bayern is thinking about him as an alternative to Sané because apparently Flick doesn't like Sané very much.
Really?
And right now they gave Flick a new contract until 2023, so he will be coach of Bayern the next 3 years probably. And he's not a big fan of Sané's style, so I think there are rumors that they want to have Werner.
No, yeah, I'd be interested to see how Lewandowski and Werner would kind of team up. I don't know. Those are two quality strikers.
I don't know. We definitely need Lewandowski, but we can definitely play without him too. In less games. Yeah, but I think I myself would prefer Sané because he's a bit faster. And, yeah.
And then I guess
They're both really nice for the German national team, yeah.
Well, on the topic of players, I guess, since we're on, the two wonder kids from Dortmund right now, Sancho and Haaland. How do you feel about them?
Haaland is insane. Like, I've never seen something like this before. Like the first games, the amount of goals he scored is just insanity.
I don't think I've seen so much.
Keep up with that.
Yeah.
He's not falling down now, but and he's not becoming arrogant or something. I really hope he stands on the ground and doesn't rise up.
Yeah, I mean,
he's amazing, and Dortmund did a really great job in getting him, and I don't understand why other teams didn't give more money. But yeah, Dortmund can just be super happy having him. It's insane. Like the first matches of him I saw, it's just unstoppable, and it's awesome to see, and I love it.
How do you feel? Do you think Jadon Sancho will be leaving soon as well, or should he stay?
I think it depends on how Dortmund performs this season. I mean, maybe if they really win the league or something, they might hold some players. But I mean, the Champions League next year is safe, so
yeah, this is true.
So it's a nice club to be in, but if Klopp calls, no chance.
Yeah, I mean,
play under him, I think.
I don't know if Jadon Sancho will be going to Liverpool, but I can see him probably going to my Manchester United. But we'll see how things go. I don't know. I think my last question for you would be who is your favorite German player of all time?
Of all time?
I know. Yeah, it's a tough one.
For a player of all time,
or you have like a top three
to history, but I really think it's either Oliver Kahn or Manuel Neuer, two goalkeepers. I have to choose either those or one of those. It's hard to choose another one because the German teams are always teams.
Yes, exactly.
Really individual players. So if you see at World Cups in 2014, there wasn't a big hero.
Mm-hmm.
The only people that stood out were the goalkeepers. And
Well-
you know that German goalkeepers are always top notch and always the best ones. And we will probably never have problems in having goalkeepers. So and the one that revolutionized the goalkeeping game is Manuel Neuer, of course.
Okay.
So I have to choose him or Oliver Kahn because he was a bit
Okay, I just
aggressive.
I just had two more questions pop in my head. These are the final questions I had. So 2021 Euros, how far will Germany go, do you think? Do you have any expectations?
Of course, semifinals.
Semifinals, okay.
Finals, or I hope they win it, but Germany is always good for the semifinals.
Mm-hmm.
Never wrong to estimate.
And I guess on top of that, World Cup 2022, do you have any expectations of that right now, or we're just being patient? Too far, I think.
It's hard to talk about that because I hate the location.
Oh no, yeah, Qatar especially.
Actually, I would love to boycott it or something. Yeah.
That's something I was wanting to do back when it was announced, just to boycott it or move it to Australia.
Postpone it anyway because of the
Corona,
stuff.
yeah.
But if we ignore the fact that it's in this location, I think we will have to wait after the Euros because I personally think that the Euros are harder to win than the World Cup. That's my.
I can see where you come from. Yeah, that's a good question to
Performance density on top is higher in the Euros
yeah.
than in the World Cup. I mean, in the World Cup you have teams from Southeast Asia or Africa
Mm-hmm.
just couldn't cope in the Euros. So we'll see after the Euros, and then you ask me again.
Well, yeah, once again, thank you, Fabian, for taking the time for this. No, yeah, you've been following us for quite a long time, and we're starting to finally get some new followers. So, yeah, guys, if you have any thoughts on the current state of German football or Bundesliga, comment down below. I think Fabian, he's always in the comments, which is nice. Thank you.
Almost always in the comments, yeah.
But yeah, once again, thank you, Fabian, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
And we're back from Fabian. Wow, thanks, Fabian. That was
Wow.
lovely.
Thank
Brilliant.
You, Fabian. Thank you, Fabian and Woz.
That was a good transition. Well
appreciate
done,
that.
Liam.
Well, you looked beautiful then, and you look beautiful now.
I try my best.
Did you learn anything from that?
I
How's
mean,
your German?
I learned that there are that Fabian knows 3 languages.
What are they?
Is
Uh,
Austrian one of them?
No, his first language is Bavarian, his second is German, third is English.
I didn't know Bavarian was a
Nice.
language.
It is. It's very strange, different.
All I know about Bavaria is beer, sausages. That's about it.
but-
What else do you need to know?
Bayern Munich?
Honestly, beer and
Yeah.
sausage is all you need in life. That
It's
is
pretty
the
good.
One
pinnacle.
day we'll go to Oktoberfest. Me and Liam.
I'm
Maybe
down.
Greg. I don't think that's Lucas's area. to go.
Lucas ain't going.
Lucas
Okay.
can come and be our. He can be our personal.
Look, man,
driver
I've
to
heard
be
things
sober.
about Oktoberfest. It's essentially essentially a German rave.
Where
need to
are we
bring that
going
up.
with this?
But on the topic of football, let's get back to it.
Should I bring up the topic that I planned, or should we get into questions?
Bring on your-
or
Let's
anything?
Bring
bring
in
up
your-
the topic you
Yeah.
planned, Lucas.
And then
Okay,
me
so
with it.
Lucas, we love your plans always.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, Greg. Even though I can't see you, I appreciate it.
You
We
can
don't
see
love
my
you,
Don't
but-
worry.
I mean, I
love
still
your
have, I
ideas.
still have a few more comments to bring up into this podcast before we get into questions. But
Yeah, sure, for sure, was.
Yeah.
But I guess I'll go with what I had planned, I guess. So, Liam, you know
Yeah.
Volta, right?
Yeah,
The game mode you don't like.
I'm not a huge fan.
Okay, but I've been playing it for the last month or so. I'm making a video for my channel. It's not out yet.
it's
but
desperate.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you guys a question.
Sure.
Desperate.
Playing Volta, man, that's desperate. That game
Well,
would
I
sucks.
only started playing it because I didn't have Xbox Live Gold and I didn't feel like
I
buying
mean,
it at
credit
the
to you for playing Volta. I mean, that's a dead mode.
The only reason I don't like Volta is because I'm terrible at skill moves. So it's just the worst possible game mode for me. But I like the idea of it. I like how they done it. I like the graphics with it. I like
Yeah.
the stadiums and whatnot. But I'm not a skill move guy. You've played with me, you know that.
Okay,
Yeah.
but there's different types of mode: 3-on-3, 4-on-4, 5-on-5,
Mhm.
futsal, etc. So I want to ask you guys, if you had let's say a futsal match. So 5-on-5. Who would you have on your team from the world of professional football? So 4 players and a goalkeeper. You can have any range of attackers, midfielders, defenders, your choice.
So it's
Is it-
futsal, so
Are
it's
we
it's
saying like 3
indoor.
attackers, 2 defenders, and a goalie? Is that
It
like
can be as many as you want.
Yeah, you can have 1 defender, 1 midfield, 2 attackers, 2 defenders, 2 attackers, your choice, plus a goalie.
all time or current players?
Let's make it all time. That'd be interesting.
Okay.
Can I go first?
Yes.
Okay, so with futsal, it's all about technical ability. It's all about,
Yeah.
on the
Mhm.
ball, passing, quick moves kind of thing. But at the same time, futsal is indoor, the net is small. So I'm going to pick a rather large goalkeeper. And you can say what you want to say, but I think this man would quite literally fill up the entire net
Let me, can
and
I
do
t-
very
can I
well.
can I take a guess?
Who is it?
Asmir Begovic.
No!
Pretty tall.
Fraser Forster.
Oh, I take Asmir.
6'7", 6'7". The man's a huge giant of a thing. You just fill up the net. That's my goalkeeper. In defense, I want a good ball playing defender, but I also want someone who can, clean up the mess if there is one. So I'm going to go for Virgil van Dijk for my
Okay.
defender. And then I feel like I want to go 4 attackers, just go nuts. So I'm going to definitely have Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm going to have someone quick on the ball. Aguero,
That's good.
Pirlo. And for my last one,
Well, you already have your 5.
oh, that's everything. Oh, yeah, I guess it's 3. Yeah, okay, never mind. I can't count.
So can you
Yes. So-
repeat your team?
Fraser Forster, Virgil van Dijk, Ronaldinho, Pirlo, and Aguero.
Very
Interesting.
different.
Okay.
Aguero.
Okay, so can I
Oh.
go with mine? Can I go?
Yeah, you of course.
Well, me.
So, sorry, Greg. You'll
You
be
can wait,
next.
Greg.
Go ahead.
So my goalie's David De Gea.
Yeah.
David De Gea, easy.
Who?
David De Gea.
Okay.
My center back. You're not gonna expect this one. Brazilian. Carlos Alberto.
David Luiz. Oh, that was David
Carlos
Luiz.
Alberto, like the one from the old Brazil teams.
Yeah, from the 1970. Man, that guy. I was watching a documentary on the 1970 World Cup team. It was amazing. It just proved that Pele is not overrated, by the way. I watched that just because you said that. That pissed me off when you said he was overrated. How dare you disgrace a football icon like that?
Wanker.
Wanka.
So and then my 3 forwards, Johan Cruyff, Ronaldinho, and Messi.
Okay.
Lucas.
I kind of want to change mine because I don't to be different.
Mine is similar to, I won't lie. So
Go
if
on, Greg.
I had this before Liam, so I'll go mine. So mine is Roberto Carlos and
Wow.
Van Dijk.
Who's your goalie?
I don't know. It's probably just Allison right now because I think he's actually just the best goalie because he's so good
Fair
at playing
enough.
the ball too.
Mhm.
And then just 2 attackers, right? So
hmm
and then I was gonna go Messi and Ronaldinho.
Okay.
Can Ronaldinho make a clean sweep?
Oh, I couldn't think of anyone
Lucas
else.
was having him in there.
I couldn't think.
Ronaldinho was just around that time for us, like.
What
when
about
we
he was
were
just
all
so technical,
and-
right? Like
oh, yeah,
on the
but
ball,
he's-
he's
Yeah.
incredible.
He's
Ronaldinho's
complete baller. I tried to think of someone else other than Ronaldinho for the sake of this, but I couldn't think of anyone in the last 20 seconds. But with my
Neymar.
team, no, I'm not gonna put Neymar over
No.
Ronaldinho.
No.
I have 2 legends in there, so some variety. I have Allison in net, like Greg. I I put David Luiz in defense.
There we go.
That's awful.
It's
Why would-
futsal. It's futsal.
Why
That guy
would
can
you-
score goals.
He can
I-
count.
He's gonna take some crazy free kicks in that. But I have
I-
Roberto Carlos, so I mean.
I was gonna put Marcelo, but I'm like, we need some defensive stability. David Luiz could give some. So Allison, David Luiz. Then I have Cruyff, Ronaldinho, and Sancho.
Sancho. Wow.
This man just is in love with Jadon Sancho. Like, I'm surprised on like the background in the wall is not just Jadon Sancho.
Liam, I'm surprised his team wasn't Ndombele, Fakir, Sancho, someone else.
Like Sadio Mane.
No,
No,
this is Mo Salah.
no, I think Sancho is would fit perfectly in futsal.
No, you're not wrong. He's
I
technically.
am deeply disappointed that none of you.
He's
also
gonna look
picked
good
Georgia
in.
Forster.
He'll look good in red in
Very
a year or
disappointed.
two from now.
Lucas, he's 6'7". The net is small.
gonna
He
pick
can just like
Courtois.
put his
Courtois
arms
is
out
better.
and just
Lucas,
fill it up.
Lucas, I'm more so disappointed in your goalkeeper.
Why?
If you're gonna pick an icon, you should have went Jersey Dudek.
Dudek.
I didn't choose an icon. I chose Allison. He's not an
Jersey
icon.
Dudek is an icon in Liverpool.
I know, but I
He
wouldn't
is.
put him in futsal ahead of Allison.
He's better than Allison. There's no doubt about that.
Well,
I was also
we
tempted
have-
with Robert Green, but you know.
Robert
we've
Green.
given our teams.
Yeah.
I passed it on to you guys watching in the comment section. Give your futsal five-a-side team. Comment
Yep.
what you think would be the best team, and
We would love to
You know,
know. Yeah.
maybe one day we could use Volta and play that and try to figure that out somehow. I don't know.
I mean, it might take a while for
No.
that.
We have to be together to do that. I know. So
That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
All right, so Woz, you said you had a couple comments you wanted to say before questions.
So once again, I've been watching some old school football, right? And
Oh yeah.
but I went way back during this week to the 1800s and watched the amazing show on Netflix called The English Game. I highly recommend it to you all and anyone listening. It's a great history lesson, I guess you can say, on how the sport kind of got brought to life and how it transitioned to the modern game and how kind of it's amazing. It was an amazing drama and it showcased the class system back then. It takes place during the Victorian era, and it wasn't just about football. It was about life, and it was beautiful. And there was moments where I wanted to cry. I'll be honest. It's only 6 episodes long.
I kind of want to do this.
Yes.
I want at least I don't know about you guys wanting to watch it, but at least one of us watched the documentary and we do a podcast based on that documentary and we talk about
Wait,
it.
which documentary?
The one you just mentioned.
What are you talking
It's
about?
not a doc.
Which other one
It's not a
could it be
documentary.
about?
It's not a documentary.
Whatever, you know what I mean.
It's a
Woz.
drama. It's 6 episodes long and it has a better plot than season 8 of Game of Thrones, which was 6 episodes long, by the
Fair
way.
enough.
So, credit to the director.
I mean, I think it'd be an interesting video / podcast if we all
Yeah.
watched it and talk about it.
Please, God, I would love to. You guys have plenty of
So-
time. Watch it.
You've told this story. What is the point of this story?
Of the English Game.
Did you have a question,
No,
or
but, like,
was it
No.
just
is it a
we're just
question
bringing
or
it up?
I'm just
wanna
bringing it
bring it
up
up?
because it's
Okay,
very
that's
good, and I
fine.
think more people need to watch it.
100%.
Part 2, I want to go to Reddit and talk about things.
Oh boy.
What things?
So, number 1, Kyle Walker. He has hosted a sex
Okay. I know what you're gonna say. Be careful with your words.
I'm just this is all like in a news report. It's from the Mirror. I'm not
What
gonna say anything.
The mere bad source, but I know what you're talking about.
Kyle Walker supposedly he hosted a sex party with escorts hours before
enough.
the coronavirus stay-at-home play to fans. No comments,
enough.
Kyle Walker. You need to be better for the kids out there. Don't do
Can we
this.
talk about Jack Grealish?
Sure, go ahead.
Well, Jack Grealish bottled it this week.
Again?
So all the famous footballers, everyone put out messages on their Instagram
Yeah.
saying everyone has to stay home. Do it for the NHS.
Yeah.
Do the right thing. Jack Grealish went and said, you know what? That message is good, but it doesn't apply to me. I'm Jack Grealish. I do what I do. So he went to a party. He then attempted to drive home drunk. He crashed his car and then just abandoned it. He just walked off from it. And then someone was like, "Oh, I live in the neighborhood, and that's Jack Grealish's car." So Jack Grealish shows up the next morning to collect his car. And they're like, "Jack, mate, what are you doing?" And I'm pretty sure Villa fined him a week's wages. I want to say
I think they fined him 150K pounds.
150,000, which could honestly be a couple weeks' wages for him. So, is it a good enough fine? I don't think so. Just crank that up.
With
for a
everything
few-
going on, probably not.
Crank it up for a few 100,000 more, and say, you know what, we're going to donate that money to the NHS as a Aston Villa contribution, And
Yeah,
Jack Grealish,
that's just it's just a situation of like why everything's getting worse is
Yeah.
people constantly still just going out. So
Jack-
everyone at home listening,
yes,
watching,
I'm yelling
don't
at everyone
follow
at
Jack
home,
Grealish right
and
now.
I'm yelling at everyone, including Jack Grealish. Don't be a bastard. Stay home.
So apparently, Kyle Walker has apologized for the sex party. And other
I mean,
news,
so did Grealish, but it wasn't the best apology
yeah.
in the world.
Bayern
They
and
still shouldn't be
Thiago.
doing it. Is the point?
Why is Kyle Walker hosting that party?
Nobody.
knows?
He's an interesting character. He plays goalie for
He does what he
God's
does.
sakes.
He does what he does.
Bayern and Thiago are close to reaching an agreement over a new contract for the Spaniard. Only small.
That's
Good signing.
He's a good fit.
I think he's
Good fit.
underrated. I think Thiago's underrated.
I like him.
Yeah.
I like him.
Wayne Rooney.
I'm surprised you didn't say this one yet.
Go ahead.
Rashford helped raise over 20 million in baby food.
He's pure class. Give him the armband.
United legend.
Calm
Oh
down.
boy, not this again.
Wayne Rooney has come out and says, "Of course I'd give up my pay, but Matt Hancock and the Premier League are so out of order." Big words from the big man.
In terms of that, I want to bring up Tottenham because Tottenham pissed me off
Yeah.
this week.
Well, it's the same with Liverpool too.
Well, I didn't hear Liverpool, so I'm not gonna yell at you, but I'm gonna yell at Tottenham.
Well, you can yell at
Um,
Liverpool. Go ahead, I'll let you.
Okay, well,
I'll
after.
let you. He's gonna let you.
No, but Tottenham, they cut the wages of the non-football playing members of the staff, i.e., like the backroom staff, the coaching staff, the regular people
Yeah.
who work for the club. But they didn't cut the wages of the players. So I mean, Harry Kane's still on 200 grand a week. Meanwhile, Suzanne, the tea lady, who makes 60 grand a year, has got her wages cut. So it's like, listen, that's crap. Like, cut the wages of the big people. Daniel Levy, take a pay cut. Your players take a pay cut. I think Harry Kane can survive on, I don't know, £100,000 a week.
Yeah.
I think he can cut back his expenses and survive.
A lot of it is just politics, and I don't really want to get into that.
Yeah.
It's like
No,
yeah.
I don't want to get into
No.
the political side. It's just more the humanitarian side.
Yeah.
The just being
You'd
a
hope the
genuine
players
nice
would just
person.
take-
Okay, look, well,
You'd hope all the players take that.
Well, the
the
players
pay-
are working, Greg. Don't.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
They're
100%.
trying to set up, the PFA is trying to set up stuff, but they're having some big arguments with the league and the government right now.
I
so.
know everything's just going on, and it's just a mess, and the world's a mess.
So now that I'm allowed to yell at Liverpool, I didn't know their situations in and out like I did know Tottenham's. But
now I want you to be careful when
don't
talking
be a
about
knobhead.
Be careful when talking about club politics, or else we'll have a guy in the comments yelling about Newcastle. I don't know what that was about, but there was a guy who commented,
hey.
and I was very confused.
Has Newcastle been bought yet?
No.
Nope.
No.
Now what's
I
this
mean,
about the
you're not gonna get a sale right now.
question? Maybe for Lucas.
You're never gonna get a
What is
sale.
this about Man City, the Premier League, furloughing non-playing staff? What does furlough mean? Furlouge?
It's pretty much like taking taxpayers' money and then
Yeah.
helping helping businesses pay their staff, I guess.
It's
kind of. I don't know
basically
everything.
it's basically like here in Canada how
Yeah.
the governments are setting up like almost like an unemployment kind of thing.
Oh.
So because it's set up that businesses can use this tax money to pay their employees if their employees can't work.
Yes.
But people are upset by this because why should these multi-billion-pound clubs be using taxpayer dollars when they are plenty rich enough to pay their own staff?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty much it. I think I don't know every single detail because I'm not really too
Unfortunately,
aware.
we just follow the game. We love the game. We don't know the insides and outs of all these clubs and what's going on with it.
I've been following it slightly on like BBC Twitter kind of thing, but that's as far
Mhm.
as in depth as I go because I
Yeah.
can't get much content out of it.
Essentially
for that,
means,
but
It's a leave of absence, especially that granted to a member of the armed service. But I get that's the definition I found. But that's all we have on that.
I just know that Liverpool are taking advantage of it. Same
Yeah.
with Spurs and other clubs, which is really disappointing. And you'd hope they wouldn't do that, but they're billion-dollar businesses, and they're gonna try the best to
Yeah.
take advantage of any way
So-
to save money, and sometimes humanitarian reasons don't come into play, which is unfortunate.
So are we get into questions now from TikTok and Instagram?
I think so. Yeah.
But before we get into there, I have to say a happy birthday to Mr. Bunnen Swagna from my stream, and he's a fan of the 90th minute. He told
Happy
me to
birthday.
say so he told me to say this at the beginning of the podcast. I totally forgot, but I remembered. So happy birthday to Mr. Bunnen Swagna. That's how you pronounce it.
Hopefully you are still watching. Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
It was also my dad's birthday. Where was his shout out?
Happy birthday,
Where
Callum.
was it? Was yeah. There we go.
Yeah, but if you do enjoy FIFA streams, check out Woz's stream at
Thank you,
twitch.tv/itswoz.
The thing is, the reason I
Oh,
shout
we
him out
invented that.
here is because he wanted me to sing happy birthday on stream, and I'm not down for that. I can't
No.
sing. So to the questions we go.
That was.
Who's doing the questions first?
Liam, what do you got? You're the Instagram man.
Yeah. Start
I've
with
got Instagram. I've got 5 or 6 from Instagram here, so we can go
Alright,
through
let-
these and
Let's run
talk
it.
about them.
If we don't, also before we start, if we don't get to your
Yes.
questions, we do apologize. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot
Mhm.
of comments, which we very much appreciate. It's hard to get everything.
Especially in
Thank
that overrated video, there's so many comments on that one.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Liam.
Okay. Name a player who is retired or not that you would like to see play in person.
Cruyff, I would love to see. I read his book like 4 years ago, and
Repeat that.
I got really interested in him as a player. And yeah, if I could go back in time and watch a player play, it would probably
Yeah.
be him. Or just watch one of the Liverpool players in the 60s and 70s when Anfield
Yeah.
was very mysterious.
Now, like, are we talking about like in person?
Yeah, name a player retired or not that you would like to see play in person, like live.
Ronaldinho. For me.
Man, I think
Yeah.
I want to say Johan Cruyff as well, but if I can pick another one, that's not kind of out of the ordinary. Mr. Ziggy Boniek
Oh yeah.
from Poland, Polish legend. I would love to see him.
I the thing with this is there's a lot of players.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Liam, who's yours?
I mean,
he's gonna go
I
King
feel
Kenny.
almost I almost feel insane by not picking, Messi or Ronaldo or Maradona, the biggest names of the game.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go back to a player who was voted by the fans of Celtic as our greatest ever player, not Henrik Larsson. It's a guy named Jimmy Johnston. He was on the
Mhm.
European Cup winning team. He was a local kid, but supposedly he was. I've seen clips of him play. Of course, never seen him like games or anything. But supposedly he was just magical on the ball. The ball was tied to his feet, kind of thing. So I think that's a player I'd like to go back and kind of like get more, to actually watch and see what he was like in person, kind of thing.
There's a lot of players, of course.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
The second question is, if the Champions League resumes, how far will both Atalanta and Leipzig go?
It would depend on
Oh,
the draw,
yeah.
obviously, but I think
Yeah.
Atalanta can be like Ajax and upset really anyone in this competition.
Hang
I
on,
think
quick
Leipzig
thing.
can be as well.
Hang on, quick thing. If you're watching our Champions League videos that we're been doing recently on FIFA, you would know they are in the semifinals.
Greg,
no,
you're
Leipzig.
just the
Yeah.
greatest.
Yeah.
You're the greatest plug man ever,
That's
Greg.
very
But
good.
you did spoil the entire video. Well, parts of the video.
They should have watched it already, Lucas.
Well, hey,
Go watch the
sometimes
videos,
people
yeah.
are busy.
Great
You
video.
never
Great
know.
video. It's a great video. Go watch it. All right, but yeah,
Bangers of goals.
Atlanta, Leipzig, they really
Yeah.
can yeah, like you said, like we saw Ajax. Like some teams come in thinking it's gonna be a walk in the park for like these teams, and then you realize where Atlanta and Leipzig are in their league. Atlanta, we know, can score goals. In the Champions League and the league, they're crazy good at that. Leipzig's just been such a strong
Yeah.
force right now. That's hard to deal with.
Was out of the two, who do you think would go further?
Probably Leipzig. They're the stronger side.
I think Leipzig.
I agree with that.
I
Lucas is gonna
disagree.
pick Atalanta. Yeah, of course you
Yeah,
are.
we know.
Atalanta.
Next question. When Hakimi goes back to Real Madrid, will he be the first choice left back?
He's not really a left back technically. Well, he's capable of playing left back, but he's
Either
stronger
side,
on the
yeah.
right side from what I've seen of him at Dortmund. And I think Carvajal is currently better, more reliable than Hakimi at the moment because Carvajal is one of
Carvajal's
the best
Do you think
defenders
then
in the
part
world.
of that
Hakimi
squad for so long now, and
Do you think
like,
Hakimi
just
goes
a
to the
veteran
left hand
in that team.
side and takes over for Marcelo?
Ferland Mendy's been brilliant though. Not
Yeah.
Ferland
Yeah.
Mendy, sorry.
No, Benjamin.
No, not Benjamin. No,
No.
it is Ferland, right?
It is
Furlan,
Furlan. I was
it's
saying
not-
Benjamin's definitely at Man City.
Benjamin is Man City's. We need to
They're just the
not
same.
get
They're
this
the
mixed
same
up.
Yes, it is
person.
Ferland Mendy.
Not
I
the
was
same
right.
person.
Same person, definitely. They just hop on a train on a plane and they play both games.
That'd be
Okay.
interesting.
But I think Hakimi, Carvajal did say he wants to play in the Premier League one day, so maybe potentially in a year or two he leaves Real Madrid, and that spot's right there for Hakimi.
Yeah, then there you
That's
go.
fair.
Woz, thoughts?
Oh, sorry, what was the question again? I was getting TikTok
my
questions so just don't egg on me, please.
The question is, when Hakimi goes back to Real Madrid, will he be the first choice left back / right back?
Oh, that's a good. Ooh, I don't know. How old's Carvajal again? Carvajal's still pretty good. I feel like he won't get loaned
28.
out. He's 28.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's in his
Shit.
prime.
Ooh, God. No, he won't. Carvajal's pretty strong.
Okay. There's the answer. Where is next for Harry Kane?
Well, there's two options. I think it's
Glory Man
Manchester.
United.
Either City or United.
Glory Man United. I don't see him going to City.
No, because
I
there's
can
a
only
couple
see him
rumors.
staying at Spurs or going to Manchester United. I don't think really there's any team in Europe that would necessarily want him.
I don't think he plays Man City's style of game.
But you never know what if Pep leaves after next season and then they
Yeah,
bring a new manager
yeah.
that would fit.
That's the thing. But is Harry Kane going to leave Spurs to win trophies and then go to a team that's not in the Champions League?
No. I don't think so.
No.
And I
He's
don't
gonna go-
think he's leaving yet, so
I think it depends on what Spurs do the next couple of years. I think if they get rid of Mourinho and actually try to find a decent manager that can
Yeah.
be there for the long haul, he might stay. But if he sees the team trying to just quick, like band-aid fixes to win a trophy, then I think he's out of there.
Yeah. the club needs a good reset on some
Yeah, 100%.
aspects, and let's see what they do. But
And the final question I have from Instagram is, if Barcelona sell Ousmane Dembele, where should he go?
Probably a
That's an
team with a
interesting
good
one.
medical team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The what?
Good medical team.
I can see
Um,
Dembele being a good winger for PSG.
You know where I can see him going?
I
Maybe
can see him being a
Back to
Manchester
Dortmund?
City.
I can go to Chelsea.
Actually, no,
Yeah.
hold on. Greg brings up a good point. If Jadon Sancho leaves, could he be a
Gregory.
good replacement?
No, I don't think that's a good idea because him and Dortmund have their relationship is very bad, and it would take a
Yes.
lot to have that get healed.
Could he be a Manchester City player?
He could, but maybe he could be get in there
replacement
because
for-
Sane is gonna leave. But then again, he be first choice at Manchester City?
It depends who
Sterling
stays and
or
goes.
something.
100%.
Oh, no, nothing wrong. It's
What
just some of the
was that?
questions we have on TikTok or something, man.
Well, that was all the Instagram questions. So do you want to start reading off
I didn't.
the questions?
I could see Chelsea, but it also depends where Sancho goes, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
right? Like, yeah.
Yep.
Hopefully, he can get out of his injury issues and become fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you want to start reading TikTok questions, or do you want Greg to look at YouTube?
Let's go with TikTok. We got a lot of good questions there. First one.
Hit me with the questions.
First one is kind of easy. Do you think Lingard will ever get back on the starting 11 and do something with his career? No.
No.
Personally, I don't think he has a future at Manchester United. I think he needs to be sold either to a lower side in the Premier League to get his career started back up, or the Championship. Hell, maybe MLS. I think he would fit the MLS style. Or culture.
I don't think he has a future at Manchester United at all.
No, he's
No, I don't think he's good enough, but I don't think the fans will ever accept him as a
Not
United player
anymore.
again.
I think he's had his time in the spotlight, but if he isn't gonna step up for Manchester United whenever he gets the chance and put it in the shifts that Ole wants from him, then he's not gonna be there for much longer past this season.
I concur.
Second, Greg, do you have an opinion?
Mr. Egg.
Pretty much just similar stuff that you guys were saying, honestly. So
Okay, next question. There has been a lot of talk that Sterling will leave City. Do you think he will? If so, where would he go next?
It depends on the Champions League ban.
yeah, because I could see Sterling wanting to win the Champions League, so he's that
And
kind of a player. But
I think Sterling. Do I want to give him a Real Madrid shout?
I was thinking that too. I think he looked good at a Los Blancos kit.
My only
Or
problem
does
with
he,
the Real
does he
Madrid
follow
shout.
Pep?
Okay, wait.
Well, my only problem with the Real Madrid shout is that they spent so much money on
They have
wingers in the
Hazard,
past handful of
yeah.
years. Hazard, Vinicius,
Lucas.
Rodrigo. They still have Bale. Like,
Well, Bale can go at any point. Whenever they want to sell Bale, he'll go, kind of thing.
Mhm.
I mean, it's up to Bale, really.
Well, yes, but they spent so much money on Luka Jovic and Hazard. They've scored 3 goals all season combined. That's not good. Like, I think Hazard definitely has quality. He definitely can be a Real Madrid legend. Well, not say legend. He can be a very good Real Madrid player. But I think Sterling could add something to the attack there that's missing at the moment.
Do you say Hazard's a legend of the game?
Not yet.
How about Premier League legend?
Hazard?
I'll say Chelsea legend.
Yeah, I think he's a Chelsea legend.
yeah,
I think he's a Premier League legend for sure. He will go down as one.
He's a fantastic
he's a
player.
fantastic
Yeah,
player. He just
so-
get his foot going and he'll be good.
I
I
guess
still think he could have done more in his career, despite how much he has done.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's just the amount of talent he has.
boys, what do you think about Giovanni Reina?
I mean, I like what I've seen from
The
him.
Dortmund youngster, is he the next Sancho?
Honestly, I
Let's
haven't
not
seen much about
put the
him.
next Sancho,
From
next
what
whatever.
From what I've seen from him, he's been really, really good.
Yeah, like, I haven't seen a hell of a lot, but what I have seen, I've been impressed with.
Yeah, he's got a good background around him in football as well. So I'm excited to see what he
when
can
you- when
bring.
you have that background, it definitely helps.
The Dortmund coaches definitely have a lot of faith in him. He's also playing in the Bundesliga at such a young age, being subbed on. I mean, him, Haaland, and
He's in a good place
yeah.
right now.
I
He
think
also has so much confidence as well when he plays, which is
yeah.
incredible to see from a kid that young.
Yeah.
This one's 2 questions and 1 screenshot I have here. Woz, why do you support United? Oh, thank you for caring. So let's go back. I don't know. I started actually watching football back in like 2012. So you can call me a glory hunter all you want. Piss off, because once we won that league title, we haven't won a single league title after that. I'm still supporting the damn club after even the banter era we're in. So piss off with you saying I'm a glory hunter. Okay, the FA Cup, is that really any glory? No. But what really solidified me as a United fan is 2 reasons. Sir Alex Ferguson and what he means to the club and his whole mentality. I've read like at least 2 of his books. And
Woz doesn't read that much.
no, any books I ever read are either Eminem or Sir Alex Ferguson. Very weird.
They're just picture books.
No, they're not. Okay, they do have pictures, but they have a lot of reading in it. And 2, the Busby Babes and the resilience, the way that Matt Busby was able to rebuild the Manchester United team in the 60s after the Munich air disaster. There's a fantastic movie about the Busby Babes and the Munich air disaster called United. I definitely just suggest it if you're a United supporter or a football supporter in general. Please watch it. It's great. It's called United. And yeah, the way the club kind of rebounced and rebuilt themselves to what they were. I mean, they went from no team at all to European Cup winners in 1968 with Bobby Charlton and George Best. It was fantastic. Great story. The resiliency of this club is unlike any other. And I don't know, Manchester United it's such a special club. The culture is as well. I mean, what is there not to love about this club? Like, come on.
You.
The devil.
Yes, come on, United.
You are the reason I don't love this club.
Okay, relax. And another question is, do you guys play? I mean, actually, people have wondered, do we actually play the game of football? Yes, we
Yes.
do. I'm not very good at it. I'm not
At
talented.
the moment, with everything going on, no.
We-
Well,
But
you technically
we-
can't play right now, but
we all do play and did play. It's just we're not very good. I
We're-
mean, like we are.
Speak for yourself.
That's not what I mean. Like we play, just it's in Canada at like a lower division. More
Yeah,
for fun.
it's called Sunday
Well,
League.
come
I-
on, Greg.
I think
What
all
do you-
of us
What do you want?
I think all of us were better in our younger days. I think
I've
we
yet to.
all-
I'm yet to hit my prime, man. Come on.
okay. My better days were, I'm gonna say, around like 15, 16. That was my peak, I want
Yeah.
to say. But I don't know. Lucas is a fantastic player. I give him a shout. He's on the ball, brilliant. He's a good special free kick specialist. Woz is a steaming right back.
Or sometimes.
freight
Woz
train.
Woz is a dozer.
Yeah, basically Makalele on the pitch.
Oh,
When,
okay. Never
when
say that.
when Woz gets running, there's no stopping Woz.
No, that's true actually.
Greg has scored more goals with his knees than I've ever seen a person do anything before.
I also manage Woz. I
Yeah.
could-
Yeah, he's a coach. He's a coach.
I'm
He's the owner.
I'm basically Hakimi on the pitch. A very fat
Woz-
Hakimi.
How can you compare yourself to Makalele and then Hakimi within
As a
sentence?
wing back, I'm like
Compares
Hakimi because
himself to everyone.
yeah, because I can do bursting wings down the wing as a wing back. That's great, and I'll do a nice cross, but that's all I can do.
So I just gave praise to all three of you. Where's my praise?
Oh, I guess I should talk about myself because you guys talked about yourselves.
Sure.
I talked about you.
Luke is a fantastic player. Liam had the pace when he was younger and would like to. If you watch our pro clubs videos, he likes
Yeah.
to shoot a lot with his left foot from random places. So
He pretty much plays like he does in real life in pro clubs and real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then okay, I pretty much played like I think I started late compared to at least Greg and Greg and Liam. Like you two
Mhm.
started when you were like 3 or 4.
Oh yeah, I played. at
Yeah, I
very
think
young.
4.
Yeah, my first season was when I was 8, but like I was pretty decent early on. Like I'm gonna sound like I'm tooting my own horn. I'm not like the best player in the world. I played from lowest levels to decently high levels,
Yeah.
but like I think I got better when in my like late teens, early 20s, really. Except for this past year, it's been a bit but even
My-
then, I've been okay.
Unfortunately, in high school, Lucas didn't make the senior team. In my opinion, he should have. That's just
Well,
my
I didn't
opinion.
make it because my damn confidence in not going to the last tryout.
Oh, see, that's yeah. You could have went to that tryout, and right now you could have been playing for Liverpool. That's what could have happened.
Well, I coulda
Scouts,
went to that
scouts.
tryout. I could have went to that tryout and have a medal.
Yeah,
If they
that's
won
true.
the championship that season.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're all playing like a Sunday league, is what you would call it in Europe, right? So maybe that's what
Yeah.
we're playing.
I know.
I think we've all played other sports as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
was a
we-
bench warmer for a volleyball team that won city championships.
Me and Liam, we won gold in grade 6 floor hockey.
Oh,
I was gonna say
my
football. I played like 3 years of football. Like,
No, I remember that. We in grade 6 we won gold in floor hockey.
I do remember that too.
You
That
won
was
overtime
fantastic.
winner. Yeah, it's a great time.
Yeah,
I got
I
fourth
remember
place
that.
in triple jump one year.
I was
but-
5th fastest in our province for 100 meters.
I was decent at shot put, apparently. I never really
Greg, what
pursued
did you
it.
do?
Oh, Greg actually did really good in that
was
1500
track
meter
and
one
field.
year.
Yeah, Greg could run for days.
Yeah, now I can't. No.
Yeah, you can
Greg
still run,
is,
man.
G Park
Lazy
is G
son
Sung
of a
Young.
bitch.
Greg's
Iron
peak in
lung.
running was grade 10. I remember grade 10, he actually did pretty well in like cross country running.
Yeah.
But then the next year, he completely fell off a cliff.
Yeah. That happens. I
okay,
don't think I.
Let's
Yeah.
move back to
But
football.
sorry, I just wanted to.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this
Okay,
discussion right now.
okay, go ahead.
But like,
How
Greg,
does-
Liam, and I, we did play on the same team for like a 2-year period.
Couple of years.
Me and Liam played on the same team for like years when we were young.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me and,
I'm
me
talking
and
about
Greg
myself
played.
with you guys.
Yeah, me and Greg played for, I'm gonna say probably 5, 6, 7 years.
Oh,
And
I,
then
I
Lucas
feel like it's more
Lucas
than that.
It might be. It
Brad
honestly might have
left,
been more.
Brad left for a bit, and then
Yeah.
And then
He's
Lucas
back,
joined for a couple seasons. But yeah. We were
But yeah,
good.
like we played indoor soccer or football, whatever you want to call it, in the winter, which is boarded football. And
In Canada,
Yeah.
it's in a hockey rink basically because
and
it's
during
winter.
this short few year period, we were playing on a lower level. So my line, I was with Greg and our friend Nick, and Greg always did the dirty work for us, and Nick and I always just basked in the glory,
Yeah.
scoring
It
all
was
the goals.
fantastic. It was
I'm pretty-
fantastic. Greg was the grinder, and the
Oh,
two
yeah.
of you look like Pele out there.
I only have one gold medal, and that's all I have.
we won
Woz
that
gonna
with
make you
you.
cry.
Greg,
Yeah,
and
it
I
was a
won
good
that with
time.
you.
You know, I never got to play with Liam and Greg only once, and that was when I first started. And after that, they
we
didn't.
played. Me and Woz played for our school team together.
Yeah, that was good times.
We all
My
played on that
first-
team.
But
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
throughout elementary and middle school, you know, I didn't play with them because they didn't like me, and so you know.
But also, I have to give a shout out to Liam though. He rescued my.
He's gonna make me cry.
What did I do,
Liam,
Lucas?
Liam actually like rescued my playing career. Not that there was much of a playing career.
Did
in-
I?
In our last year of high school, pretty much, like because we were playing just for I was playing just for fun with Greg and Woz for 1
Yeah.
year, and then that ended up folding after the last season, and then I had no team, I had nowhere to go, and then Liam's like, "Hey, come play with our team." Their team was pretty
I
good;
got
they're pretty high level, and I went to their tryout. The coach loved me, along with a few of our other friends who came. And yeah, I've been on the same team with Liam ever since. So I never actually said this to you, Liam, but thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's a great scout.
Now, Lucas absolutely hates his life because he plays in the same line as me and has to run so much.
Yeah, he carries the team. And then
I don't track back.
we go back
at
to
all. I have
TikTok.
no defensive wish.
TikTok
Yeah,
questions.
so let's get back to our questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Who is the most underrated national team in Europe? That's a tough question.
Wow.
Can I shout out Kosovo?
Sure.
Croatia, Serbia is okay.
Oh yeah, I'd say Serbia. 'Cause I'm
Serbia's got
biased.
some decent players, although they need to do better in qualifiers. But about teams
They
that
have
are
a few, like they have a solid team. They just need to work a few things out. But I think I actually agree with that, Woz. Thank you.
Yeah.
Would it be insane to say Portugal?
I was gonna say Italy, but those are like
Yeah.
nations
I don't
that
know
are
if you
supposed
count
to be
those.
good.
nah,
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone rates Portugal at the same level as Germany.
No,
Spain,
I think
France.
No, of
I
course
think
not,
Portugal
but
are
I don't know if
contenders.
it's
And I
so
think I don't know.
They did just win the Euros though in 2016.
I know. But what I'm saying is, I don't think anyone rates them
Oh,
like they're
wait,
potential Euro
Wait,
champions. and-
oh, that's in Europe. Shit, I was gonna say Peru, but never mind.
Oh my.
I in terms of the whole world, I go Peru or Qatar.
We're talking about Europe.
But in Europe, yeah, Serbia's pretty good.
I guess Sweden,
Is
like
Serb-
they did
Sweden-
well in the
Sweden
World Cup,
actually-
and they always don't
yeah.
have the most nice, best looking team on paper, but
Hey,
they always do the job they need to do.
They have Michael Lustig, the best ever right back in the history of football.
They also have Kulishevsky, who is going to be one of the best midfielders in the future.
They have Victor
maybe.
There's
Lindelof.
a lot of underrated teams that we're not like saying, of course, and everything.
But-
so.
Sweden might get my vote.
let's go.
Serbia's a good shout as well. though.
Overall round, we picked Sweden as the most underrated team in Europe.
Okay.
Next question. I found this. Oh, this is actually at this current state of football, it's kind of hard to decide. But who will win the Ballon d'Or? If you had to pick right now, man, I don't know. Can I give it to Van Dijk?
I mean-
we're only like 3 months in, but
He didn't win the Champions League.
no one's won the Champions League yet. Liam?
But no,
He
Liverpool
physically
out, though.
cannot.
But he can win the Premier League.
Big, yeah.
Ronaldo, maybe he's been performing really well since the year started.
I think
I think
it
this
will
one-
be
this year's been
between.
closer. Like
I think it will be between Messi and Ronaldo again. It depends on who wins more, domestic league and Champions League.
What if they? What if in a weird world they don't win anything?
Yeah, Bruno Fernandes.
shut up.
If neither of them win their domestic titles or Champions League, potentially Van Dijk, but I don't even know.
What about De
If,
Bruyne?
Mbappe,
He's not winning the Premier League.
But he could still win the Champions League.
Neymar.
It all depends. It's too hard
Yeah,
to say.
it's so
right
hard
now.
to say, man.
It's way
'Cause
too early to
it's such-
say. Yeah.
The Ballon d'Or is honestly such a team-reliant trophy, which
Yeah.
So, last question. This is kind of silly in my
Sorry,
opinion.
the last question.
I can
Well, yeah,
unless
you
Greg
have
has
YouTube
more. Yeah, I don't know.
questions,
A lot of stuff got clogged in that whole Pele conversation. My God, there's like 300 comments on that. But here's one question that we kind of got a lot. I don't know how to answer this. Your opinions on the SSE Electricity League? So the Irish League.
That's the question you picked as the last one.
There's a lot of we've been actually getting this a lot from our Irish supporters.
Like the national teams or the other
Nope.
the odd leagues. And
I've
stuff?
had this in my stream chat as well. People want to know, what are your thoughts on the Irish League? And can I be honest, it's not great.
Look,
It's
None
not-
of us have ever
We
watched
don't
it.
know.
No.
like-
the most I
Like-
know about the Irish League is that their teams are one of the worst in FIFA's.
Then you won't have some of the lowest rated teams in FIFA's.
Shamrock Rovers, Bohemian
Shamrock
FC.
Rovers, yeah.
What other ones? There's Finn
Yeah,
Harper.
yeah,
League.
yeah. Like, I would love to see one of these teams take on a Canadian Premier League team, because the Canadian Premier League teams are not too high rated from what we kind of know. So I would like to see it.
Unfortunately, yeah, we don't know. We don't.
Time out. Woz, are you telling me there's no other TikTok question?
No, I just wanted to get that one off the table because we keep getting asked.
Unfortunately, if you enjoy like the lower leagues and the lower national teams, we don't know a lot
We
about
have
it.
no
Well,
coverage.
we actually
on
might
it.
know something. Like the Mexico question, Walls and I actually came up with something decent.
Yeah, no, I agree, but
When name was just
I
initially like,
don't. Sorry, but I don't.
"Ooh."
I also don't agree that the Mexican league is as low as the Irish league.
Fair enough.
Okay,
Mexican
It
league.
isn't. It isn't.
okay. Here's
Mexican league's
here's a
pretty
better
fair.
question.
I
What
know the Irish national anthem, so I can sing that if you want.
what country
Team also knows lots of songs.
Yeah. what country do you think will have a lot of potential in the future?
North Macedonia. No, I'm just kidding. It was the first team listed
So
on this.
aside from
Canada.
Canada's a great shout. Yeah.
Yes.
Australia.
Actually, on the
Yes.
topic of Canada, I was speaking to my friend Pope earlier today, and we had a good discussion about, Canadian football. He said he attended an online presentation, and this is what they said. After their presentation today, it is clear that's happening. I just hope that it doesn't end up where only our youth teams succeed, but don't transition well at the senior level. Because the Canadian youth teams do well. You get the U15, U17, right? He says every director has one goal in mind, helping the players of their sector to transition to the first team. Jonathan Herdman, who's the head coach of the Canadian national team, said that we all have a duty as coaches to help this country have a chance in 2026. I said it's nice to have a system. It's nice to have a system that has a vision for once. And he says it has for several years. You certainly would have been proud to be Canadian after this presentation. Statistically, he says that we will not make a run at the 2026 World Cup. Apparently, CSA is heavily stat and science oriented. They've admitted that they need several tier 1 players to make it out of the group in 2026.
It's not really wrong, but it
Yeah.
also is 6 years away. Like, there's a lot that can
Yeah.
change. in
Generally,
that
like something like this, you won't see the reward for it for like 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But he
exactly.
said that's why they're making it the goal to make Canada the most adaptable team in the CONCACAF region. So
What does that mean?
that's a good. You can take it as it is, but
Can I explain? Can I explain Australia to Lucas, who's a big doubter of
sure.
the Aussies?
Mm-hmm.
I think Australia have the chance to do well because of their domestic league. I think the Australian league is growing at a decent rate. I know they have a handful of young players playing in Europe. I think of Daniel Arzani, who's at loan at Celtic from Manchester City. So I think if Australia can get their youth systems together and have a bit of a goal similar to Canada in the sense of wanting to, create something for the future, I think they could be, let's say at 2026, They could be a decent national team.
I have to
Yeah.
disagree with you from what
You're
I
just
know.
the worst. You're just the worst, Lucas.
Look, this isn't anything against Australians or Liam Peace, but
I was always against Liam Peace.
Honestly.
but like from what I've heard about from youth development experts at least, or apparently in Australia, like the amount of people playing the sport is down.
Hmm.
Oh,
And
100%. I mean, it's
al-
definitely nowhere near number one.
and also like they haven't really been performing well at the youth tournaments in recent years, haven't really been qualifying, which is a concern.
Yeah.
Because if you're able to consistently qualify for those youth World Cups, then you're on the right track somewhat. You might not be developing the best players, but you still have the right ideas and you're doing something better than most countries. I would say Japan is a much
Yeah, it's also
better
a good point.
option for
Yeah,
this
I
question than
agree with Japan,
Australia or Canada. I'd also say Mali is also developing a lot of great talents in recent years, and
Yeah.
we could generally see them become an African powerhouse in the next handful of years, from what I've heard.
Japan's a very good shout. I mean, we saw at the last World Cup what they've already achieved, and I think they've got some fantastic youth players coming through, like Kubo. I think Kubo's an absolute
Shoji.
baller. Like,
I thought you were
I
gonna
love
say
that guy.
Cubone, yes.
Kubo.
All right, well,
That guy's a
let's-
baller.
Greg, do you have
Uh,
any guesses? Any random guesses?
I'm the one that said Canada.
Oh, you
Okay.
did. What about Woz?
I said Canada.
Okay,
Well,
no
I
love
said
for
Canada
Mexico,
before you,
Woz.
though.
Any other teams?
Oh,
No. Okay, well, I was gonna move on to like I guess a last question. This is good. Thank God I remember this. So before the podcast started, I popped into Money Mech's TikTok stream. Money Mech he's very funny on TikTok. He does FIFA TikToks and whatnot, but he's also a Chelsea supporter, and he also has very funny FIFA streams. Anyways, aside from that, I asked him a question. If anyone wants us to answer any questions, and he wants to know, how far do we think that Frank Lampard can lead Chelsea with everything they have, like the board and everything? Like, how far can Frank take Chelsea, essentially?
I think
I
we're gonna have
would-
very different opinions on this.
Yeah, well, of course, all we know, Frank Lampard is a very young manager.
Yeah.
And could be one of the greats. Starting off so young cannot, in my opinion, can either be a negative or a positive, right?
Yeah.
And it also depends. Chelsea right now is playing so many of their youth players. It depends if they can keep it going. And like, also, of course, they're on like the front runners to sign like someone like Jadon Sancho to
Mhm.
lead that team for the upcoming years, right? So
So, are you a
The way-
believer in Frank?
yes, I think so. I believe, yeah.
The way I kind of look at Frank Lampard would be,
And of course, he's a
I
club legend of the team.
yeah, I think he took over at the best possible time for him. You know, being a young manager, like you said, but to have the transfer ban, there was no pressure on him. You know, he could finish 10th, and you'd be okay. He's got the transfer ban. This is not his team. This is not Frank Lampard's Chelsea yet, but he's gone them up to third,
Yeah.
fourth, and I think he's done better than people expect him to do.
Mhm.
New
So I think-
manager, young new manager
Yeah.
like that, you lose
Yeah.
your star player who you've relied
Yep.
on for the past how many years, right?
Mhm.
Like,
So
I think he's done pretty good so far.
I think you give Frank Lampard a couple transfer windows, turn Chelsea into his Chelsea, play style players, etc. I think with Roman Abramovich backing him with his
Yeah.
money, with his dedication to Chelsea, with his plans on building a huge new stadium at Stamford Bridge, I think Lampard could turn Chelsea into a domestic superpower like Pep Guardiola turned City.
That's interesting to hear that
Wow,
from you,
yeah.
Liam, because earlier this season you were criticizing Frank.
Oh, 100%, 100%. I was all the way against Frank, but I've been swayed. I liked what I've seen, and I think if Chelsea are smart with who they buy, and if they trust the players who've helped get them here this season, like your Jorginhos, your Tammy Abraham to an extent, I guess.
I
but-
think they've done good with what they have. Is my
Oh, I
Mhm.
mean, they found a new midfield star in Billy G. Gilmore.
Yeah.
So that guy's going to the top of the game.
I
I
think
think if they're smart with who they buy, they can do well.
I think I'm a little split on this because I do like Frank Lampard as a manager and that idea they have with the youth. Whether a lot of the youth do make it or not, I'm not sure because I don't know them as well as other people. But I do think Chelsea's having a below average season to their standards, and they are a little lucky that other teams around them have been performing poorly as well, not taking advantage of it. But you got to give credit for Frank for the start of the season he's had and for having some big victories over rivals like Spurs and Arsenal. I think if I'm only worried about the Chelsea board because in the past they've been very impatient, and time will tell if that has changed or not. Hopefully it hasn't. Hopefully they have some patience. Just look at Liverpool and Klopp. They build themselves.
Sorry, yeah, no, just finish.
They build themselves a plan, and they have lived to that plan.
Exactly.
And if Chelsea do the same, will they be as good as Liverpool? I won't say that, but they could potentially be a great team in the future and compete for Premier League titles once again.
Yeah, with that though, it's like because you would hope that they would like trust him and keep him around and give him a couple chances, as it's Frank Lampard with Chelsea,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
You
how
shouldn't
good
hire you shouldn't hire Frank Lampard as a short-term thing. It's a long
No, I
term.
Yeah,
agree.
definitely.
It's a long term. With how young
If-
he is too, it's like you can just
if-
grow this and just stick with him.
If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still United manager, Frank Lampard deserves a little bit more time.
Yeah, I think patience is key with Lampard right now. I think he can take Chelsea far. It just all depends on who he can sign, what he can get out of Christian Pulisic, especially because we haven't really seen too much of that right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's had a good start. I think we've seen good things from Frank Lampard. He's kind of hit a bit of a rock, a little bit of a pause because they were performing so well until November. They've been very lucky to hold fourth place somehow up until this point. But yeah, I think he can do something good if they hold some patience. But if he doesn't win a trophy within maybe 2 years, I can see him out. I have like 2 seasons. If he doesn't win a trophy, he's out because today's game success matters immediately.
Yeah, that's a very fair point.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
So that all the TikTok questions?
Essentially. Shout out to Money Mech. Great TikToker.
Yes.
Shout out.
Question. Yes. Thank you for the questions as well to everyone.
Greg,
Yeah.
do you have a few YouTube questions?
Yeah, I got a couple quick ones. So how do
Sounds
you
good.
think Leicester will do in the Champions League, for one?
Leicester.
Well, that's whether they qualify, but let's
Yes,
assume
if
they do.
I'll go round of 16. Round of 16
I
and
think
that.
they could definitely be a dark horse. That's the kind of team that like you could see showing up like
Yeah.
on a tournament basis, right?
Ultimately,
Yeah.
that depends on who can they sign, who can they
Of
keep.
course, the Carabao Cup, what just happened, but
I have not been overly impressed with Leicester the last few months.
if we're talking, okay, yeah, I'm more talking about
Yeah.
the Leicester we saw at the beginning of the year, where they were just when they're on form, they're a very.
I don't know if that was the real Leicester. I think that was just players playing above their levels.
Which, yes, that's
Yeah.
fair enough.
I don't really trust Brendan Rodgers in Europe. I think
I
he's
am fully behind that.
I think he's a great domestic league manager, but he hasn't proven to me to be any good at cup competitions whenever the pressure comes up.
100% agree with that. The stamp of approval.
Full semi-final
Yeah.
loss against a team he should be beating. Champions League with Liverpool, we get knocked out to Basel, and then same thing with Leicester with the semi-final this season in the Carabao Cup. I haven't seen
Celtic
enough
for all
to
3 of his
change my
years.
opinion on
He
that.
never, all 3 years at Celtic, he never made anything in Europe. I mean, we didn't do anything again this year, but
Yeah, that's disappointing. I'm sorry. You pissed me off.
I mean, at least he beat Lazio twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
might as well make
we
that.
had a good up, but then it went crashing down.
Get yourself a banner for that.
Win the Italian league. That's what we.
Yeah.
That's a career mode
Sorry.
idea. Put Celtic in Serie A.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cristiano. We'll bottle you.
Greg, continue.
Another question is, when the UCL comes back, do you think that Bayern can win it?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
They're my Champions
Yeah.
League team.
100%. I agree. They're
Best
definitely
best
one of
striker
the
in Europe.
Bayern,
Best striker in Europe. One of the best defenses in Europe.
Bayern or
I'm
PSG.
on board.
That's simple.
Okay. And last question, let's make this fast because it could be a very long debate and stuff. Should they change the Champions League and the Europa League and make it larger, like going to North America and South America and letting them?
No, that would ruin they would ruin
I
that.
agree. No,
That
if
would
they
ruin.
ever did want, how I see it is, if they ever did want to do something like that, have its own thing. Like don't
I
involve it
think
with.
maybe instead you expand the Club World Cup maybe.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That
Yeah.
is the Club
Yeah.
World Cup, and frankly, I don't think that gets very much hype because the multi-billion-pound European club should win it every year. You know, if I see Real Madrid facing Toronto FC, there should only be one winner there. Or you know, if I see Liverpool heading off to Sao Paulo, again, Liverpool should win that game. You know,
I mean,
it doesn't
Liverpool-
always happen. It doesn't always happen. I know it doesn't always happen. There always
Upsets are
is
nice,
upsets
but-
in the Club World Cup, but in the grand scheme of football, the bigger club with more money and the better players should win it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we're not in the 60s, 70s, or 80s where these clubs in South America are able to keep some of the best players in the world and
Liam.
challenge these European teams, like when Flamengo actually did beat Liverpool in like the 80s, I think.
Yeah. Also, another thing I wouldn't like about that, if that did happen, which it won't, is the fact that like the traveling as well. That adds up
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
much
honestly,
extra costs
that's
of
a good-
traveling and
thank you,
everything
Greg.
with that, and like because it's like usually Champions League games are midweek games, so then they ought to go back and play during the weekend, right?
It's
So that just it adds so much extra
Well, even
fatigue to the
even-
players and everything.
even for the fans, I mean, you're not going to have many German fans heading off to
Exactly.
North America or South America or Asia or anywhere. That's a huge commitment. Like,
and especially
Yeah, I don't like the travel.
I mean
for it.
it's a fantasy of an idea, right? So
Yeah, definitely.
fun on
Yeah,
paper, but
And
won't. Yeah,
that's-
too many logistics. Jesus, gives me a headache thinking of that.
That's about it.
that's the questions.
Well,
Yeah.
that's all we have for the
there
90th
anything-
minute.
Is there anything else we want to talk about, or is that the end of the podcast?
I think that's enough.
Yeah, I think Lucas has got
That's
some
enough.
chores.
But yes, I want to say thank you again to Fabian and Woz for that fantastic interview.
Yep.
Shout out Fabian especially for joining us here and giving us his time and his thoughts.
Next,
Yeah, check out
really
his stuff down
appreciate it.
below if there's anything we need.
Yeah.
We link.
He has a couple of TikToks where he plays the piano.
next week we'll try to have another guest on the show. I have some people I've been talking to, so hopefully that'll flourish, and I'm very excited. Future of the 90th
Also,
minute.
thank you
If
so
you-
much for 1,500 YouTube subscribers
Oh,
this
yes.
week. We're very close to 1,600.
Yep,
Thank you
we very much
for
appreciate that.
20,000 on TikTok, and we're very close to 400 on Instagram. So
Yeah,
if you want to
it's-
follow us there, please do.
yes,
Yeah.
the support we've been getting is fantastic, and we greatly appreciate it.
Mhm.
As well as the support we've been getting on our pro clubs and our other FIFA content, like the Champions League episodes. We know that's not our normal stuff, but something we enjoy making, and we hope you guys are enjoying it as well.
Yeah, the first
Yeah.
part of the Champions League video is our second most viewed video of all time. So that's
Oh, really? Wow.
awesome.
Yeah, we very much appreciate that. And if you did enjoy it, the next part will be out on Wednesday. So stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned, guys. And Liam, outro.
Sure. From Woz, Lucas, Greg, and myself, Liam, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for watching and listening. Make sure you're subscribed and following on all social medias.
By the way, I am
But-
Eggy Greggy today.
Eggy Greggy. But from all of us at the 90th minute, we shall see you next time. It's been yet another week and beautiful game. See ya. This is Woz. He's a fucking ball hog. He has moments of brilliance, but he calls for the pass every 2 minutes.